My name is Dave Zukowski. I'm the President and CEO of Hyundai Motor America. We're obviously a big part of the Fountain Valley community. We've been here the better part of our 30-year existence in the United States. This year is our 30th anniversary, so it's very special to be able to be over here today celebrating the 50th anniversary for the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. They have grown incredibly over that time. They've provided great guidance and great direction for a community that's grown from less than 2,000 people to the 60,000 range. So it's a very well-planned community, it's very well run, and we're very proud to be affiliated with the Chamber and to be a very active and participating member of the Council.
Cool. Do you have like a favorite memory from working with the Chamber?
Well, my favorite memory of the council is I was elected I was named about 2 years ago as president and CEO, and one of the first things I did is I came over and I met at a breakfast meeting with the council members and spoke there, and it was very welcoming and it just a very, very warm feeling and just made me feel at home. And it's just, I'll always hold that dear, the reception I got when I initially took this job.
Hi, my name is Frank Bedeau. I was president in 2009. It's good, it's very fun to be back here at the Chamber and to look at some old faces and get reacquainted with old friends and so forth. And I can recall the time at the Chamber I think we did some great things. I think the Chamber is heading in some great new directions, and it's very exciting to see what's going on today. So
I just want to wish the Chamber a happy 50th anniversary.
I like to wish the Chamber absolutely a happy 50th. It's hard to believe, and time flies by when you're having fun.
I'm George Blanc, and I've been a member of the Chamber of Fountain Valley for over 20 years. I was the president, or now they call it the chairman, in 2002. Those were tough days regarding budgets and what have you, but the Chamber survived, and we're very pleased, and I'm wishing happy 50th anniversary to the Chamber.
I'm Dr. Leslie Van Duzen of New Hope Chiropractic, and I was introduced to the Chamber in 2005 when my husband and I opened a practice here, and chairperson in 2010. And it's been a wonderful experience getting to know all the people in the community and in the Chamber, and I want to wish you a happy anniversary, and it's well deserved.
Hi everybody, Eduardo Higuchi. Happy 50th to the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. In my 9 years involved with the Chamber, it's been a great way to really meet some wonderful folks and find a way to do some really good business. Thank you, Mary, great job.
Hi, I'm Beth Hambleton with Orange Coast Memorial Medical Center, and I am proud to serve on the board of directors for the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, especially in our 50th anniversary year. We have been a part of the Chamber for many, many years as Orange Coast Memorial, almost since the beginning of coming to Fountain Valley. Fond memory has definitely been serving as the chair of the Government Affairs Committee. Such a great group of dedicated people who work hard to benefit the members, and it's just been a delight to serve the Chamber. Happy anniversary!
It's gone.
I think I have another copy of that.
I want to welcome everybody and thank you all for coming today. I'm delighted to welcome you here this afternoon as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. Yay! I'm not quite sure if anybody in this room will be here when we celebrate the 100th anniversary of this chamber. I know I won't. I've been lucky to have been a part of this chamber since 1999, representing our graphics, Seaside Graphics and Printing business switched over sometime in the early 2000s representing Silky Sullivan's restaurant. Then I was on the board in 2003, I was a chair, 2003, 2012, and 13, or 11 and 12, I guess. I don't remember. And I've seen many changes. I've always believed that being an advocate for business, small or large, and that if businesses are strong in the city will prosper. So the first thing I'd like to do is express my sincere thanks to the committee that helped put this whole shebang together. Their hard work is to be acknowledged for sure. Please stand as I call your name. Mayor Cheryl Brothers, Joanne Perel from the Fountain Valley Community Foundation, Bob Richardson, RWR Marketing and Graphic Design, Vince Giuseppe, G3 Creative, Michelle Clark, Rainbow Environmental, Kevin Heazon, Law Offices of Kevin Heazon, Rick Billings, the Comline Group, Xenia Joyner, Fit Body Boot Camp, and Melissa Watanabe, Farmers Insurance, Melissa Watanabe Agency. Each contributed many pieces and donated a lot of time to this, so thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce our MC, who didn't give me a bio. I know. I don't know very many people that don't know Michelle Clark from Rainbow Environmental. Yes, and Republic now. But Michelle, please, come up.
Sorry, I forgot my bio because Mayor Cheryl Brothers had us here making centerpieces all day yesterday. So that's why, Mary. And again, I want to welcome you too, and certainly honored to be here to celebrate this tremendous milestone for the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. Fountain Valley's Chamber of Commerce obviously has become a very successful part of the community. Without it, it wouldn't be a nice place to live. It'd just be the place to live. So we're super duper excited with this milestone, 50, let's see. I wasn't even born yet, just kidding. Did you get a chance to check out some of the nostalgic items that were in the front of the room? One nostalgic item I'd like to point out is a picture of John Collins. Did you see the picture of John Collins? And one other thing, Dave Garofalo, where are you? It said, I think it said 1992. I think that was a typo. It's 1882. He's been around forever. For good reason, though. Like I said, this chamber, this community itself is just absolutely something very similar to Mayberry. Anytime you have, oh, were any of you at the School Foundation event on Saturday? Wasn't that fun? This community pulls itself together for the goodness of all of the people, and I just think that that's amazing. So, without further ado, let's introduce our invited guests. What does that mean? Weren't you all invited? I think it's honored guests. And again, we're all honored to be here today, right? I don't know what Mary wrote down. I'll just go with it. So let's see. Who's here? Ed Arnold. No, Ed Arnold is our community hero. And if any of you know Ed Arnold, you just want to be him when you grow up. I certainly do. Joel. Hold on, Mary, I was going to say it right. I was looking for him. Joe Badalian from Fountain Valley Hospital, a chamber member for 42 years. Let's give them a big round of applause. That's awesome. Frank Badeau, where are you, Frank? There you are. Chairperson in 2009. That was awesome. How about George Blanc? Is George Blanc here? Congratulations, George. Thank you for being the chairperson in 2002. Woohoo! I think that was the year of American Idol. How about Anne-Marie Broderick? Where are you, Anne-Marie? Hi, Anne-Marie. Thank you for being here. I can't wait till later, and maybe some of them will give us their 50 Shades of Gold secrets. Let's see. John Collins, please stand up. John Collins was the chairperson of the chamber 1988 and 1989. John and I did a TV show together, and it was not easy. It's very, very hard to work with. He doesn't listen. He's so bossy. Uh-oh. In that case, he was phenomenal. And we're great when we work together. Okay, let's see. How about Anson Q? Are you here? Stand up. Congratulations. Thank you. Anson, are you still with Sam's Club? What? Sam's Club has been around since 1988. That was a great year. Doris DeFran? Doris, are you here? Hi, Doris. Doris was from Ballard and Ballard Jewelers, a member of the chamber for 28 years, beginning in 1988. 1988. That must have been a really good year. How about Donna Frank? I know she's here. Stand up, Donna. When I first got introduced to the community of Fountain Valley, I thought Donna worked for the chamber. She was always doing something. She was like volunteer extraordinaire, so I bet she was glad to know. She was retired, like forever. Thank you, Donna. Dave Garofalo, sorry I teased you. Chairperson in 1992, stand up. And Bob Hall. Bob Hall, City of Fountain Valley. The City of Fountain Valley has been a member of the chamber for 30 years. Thank you, Bob, for your leadership. Sue Hunter? Hi, Sue. Sue was the honorable chairperson in 2001. Thank you, Sue. Now, I know that was a good year. I don't know why, but it was. How about Mark Johnson? Where are you, Mark Johnson? Mark Johnson in the Fountain Valley School District has been a member since 1985. That's 31 years. And Mark Johnson at the Schools Foundation Taste of Fountain Valley lost a cake decorating contest because he wasn't creative and innovative. Like the assistant superintendent, Steve was. Steve chopped up his cake and built something that I think Rainbow should have picked up and taken to the dump. Nevertheless, it was a winning cake. It was all for the kids. Mark, better luck next time. How about Nadira Johnson? Nadira? I butchered that. Nadira Johnson. Coastline Community College has been a member since 1988. Wow. Ramil Lumian. Hi. HCR Manor Care, member since 1988. Thank you. Laura McKenna. Edinger Medical Group, a member for 43 years since 1973. And Dave Osborne, is Ozzy here? Oh, Ozzy. I shall not say anything more when it comes to Dave Osborne. He's the best guy ever. He was chairperson in 1998 and 1999. Uh-oh, Mona Osborne. Now it'll come out. Fountain Valley Bowls, a member since 1987, 29 years. Thank you, Mona. Annie Petrikin. Is Annie? Hi, Annie. Don't be afraid to stand up. Annie was the president of the chamber in 1991. Thank you. Bob Richardson. Bob's on the committee. Hi, Bob. RWR Marketing and Graphic Design, a member since 1990, 26 years. 36, excuse me. I never said I went to Fountain Valley School District. Okay, so we'll add 10 more years to that. How about Marcia Sadnick? Marcia, hi Marcia. Marcia's from Elwyn. Elwyn's been a member since 1975, 41 years, and I happen to be a proud board advisory for the Elwyn. It's a wonderful group. If you've got any jobs for those kids over there, please be sure and reach out to them. It's a wonderful group. Marjorie Stanford Ray. Hi, Marjorie. Hey, Marjorie, you and I have sat here in this very room and had lunch together. Yes, we're best friends. Marjorie's was chairperson in 2010, and she's awesome. She doesn't eat cookies, so that's why I sit next to her. Cheryl Wesley, Elwyn. She's the current president of the chamber since 2015 and 16 and doing a great job. Beverly White. Beverly was the president of the chamber from 2003, 2002, and 2012. Again, someone else didn't go to Fountain Valley Unified School District either, because this says from 2003 to 2013, and I knew that was a problem. Thank you so much, Beverly, for your leadership. How about Dave? Oh, I'll save him for last. Oh, it is last. So Dave Zakowski. I didn't butcher that one. Who is our guest speaker? So excited when he accepted to be our guest speaker. Dave is from Hyundai Motor America, and they've been members of the Fountain Valley Chamber since 1990. That's for 26 years, and we're so excited to hear what he has to say. And did any of you see that those gold SUVs out there in front of Hyundai over when the Super Bowl? At first I thought they just went straight ghetto. And then someone told me, oh no, they did that for the Super Bowl. And I was like, well, I'm so glad it was for the Super Bowl. I was like, who's gonna buy that thing? I probably would have. I love it. So I think that's about it for me. I'll see you later. Who's gonna introduce Dave? Oh. Wait, Mary, sit down. I forgot one thing. So members of the committee, would you stand up, please? We do have something very exciting. Not only is today the 50th anniversary for Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, today is also Mary's 50th birthday. Well, and Mary, if I were you, I'd just go with it. So let's sing happy birthday to Mary. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you. Yay. She thought we forgot. And don't forget, you're 50. You don't even get a discount anymore. All right, I'll read Dave's bio because it's pretty impressive. What'd I forget?
We have to do the invocation and we have to do
Oh.
the flag salute.
Oh,
Where's
not-
your thing? See? Here, look. Invocation.
Oh, now the event really starts. Well, what did I just do?
You went straight to here.
Oh, so now we have to bring up the pastor sitting with me, and I forgot him.
And you forgot him. Yes.
Come on up, Pastor Wagner.
We also have to do the history. Where's our history? I guess it's after the legs. Yeah, it's after legs.
Sorry, Pastor.
true. Okay. It is an absolute joy to be here today. Thank you so much for this privilege and the privilege of serving in this community for 15 years now. It's just a joy. It's great to see you. Let's have a word of prayer. Lord, it's an absolute joy to be here today with my friends in this community that we get to serve, we get to work in and live in. We are privileged. And we give you all the thanks and all the glory for 50 years, Lord. How awesome is that? Thank you for the hard work, for the volunteerism, for the businesses that have raised up in this community, that have been the strength behind this great city. And we pray your blessings upon the businesses, on the chamber, for many years yet to come. May this continue to be a wonderful, safe city to live in, to enjoy the services of, the variety of things to do and experience. It truly is an amazing place to be, to live. And we give you thanks. Thank you for the food and the time around the table together today. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, I won't mess up after that nice prayer. Now it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Uh-oh. Here comes the boss.
Not even. Yes, please stand if you can. And as we recognize the symbol of this great country that allows us to come together in freedom, and if you work hard, you can thrive, and it's that freedom that this flag represents. So if you would join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Cheryl Brothers. Okay, I already did the... Where's Mary? Mary, I already did that. Acknowledgement of invited guests. We're moving on. We were all invited. Remember, we acknowledged that. Okay, now we have to call up those that represent legislators. Right, Mary? From Congressman Dana Rohrabacher's office, District Representative Constance Towers. Come on up, girl. From State Senator Janet Wynn's office, Field Representative Augustine Hahn.
Oh, there's stuff in here.
This is great.
Let me get it out.
From Assemblyman Travis Allen's office, District Representative, also known as Ivory Michelle Schutz. Out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Orange County Supervisor Vice Chair Michelle Steele's office, District Representative Jeremy Chan. Where's Jeremy? Oh. And from the Board of Equalization, 4th District member Diane Harkey's office, Information Officer Tony Knott.
Somebody else.
Who? That's not Tony?
No, it's not Tony.
Well, what's your name, dude? What is it? Fernando Perez? Paredes. You just decided to show up? Well, that's not Tony Knott. So they all have brought something to honor the Chamber's 50th anniversary.
Cheryl.
Come on up, Cheryl.
Cheryl. Brothers.
Thank you. There's going to be a lot of us with a lot of the same words, but I'm going to cut right to the bottom on mine. It says, now, therefore, I, Cheryl Brothers, Mayor of the City of Fountain Valley, on behalf of the City Council, hereby recognize and congratulate the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce on a successful 50th anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you, Cheryl. No, there she is.
There she is.
Did you want?
Where'd she go?
You can take it back? No, no. I'll hold it for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Constance with Congressman Dana Rohrabacher's office. I just wanted to say that this room really exemplifies the sense of community spirit that we have here in Fountain Valley. We have our beautiful businesses and the individuals that all contribute to making Fountain Valley a nice place to live. So with that, I would like to congratulate the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce on 50 wonderful years of creating a business-friendly Fountain Valley, and here's to 50 more.
Hello. On behalf of Senator Janet Wynn, I would like to congratulate the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce on this momentous milestone of 50 years, and we look forward to all the years to come.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Wow, what a wonderful turnout. It's great to see everyone here. On behalf of Assemblyman Travis Allen of the 72nd Assembly District, I want to congratulate the Chamber and everyone that's been a part of it. Everyone asks me all the time why I'm always telling everyone to be part of the Chamber. Everyone in this room is the reason why. You guys are wonderful. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Tran. Dear Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for having me here today. It is such a great honor for me to represent not just one supervisor, but two supervisors. First supervisor, First District Supervisor Ed Trudeau, and my boss, Supervisor Michelle Steele. I would like to wish you a wonderful 50 years anniversary. Thank you so much for your contribution to our community. And we would like to wish you another 50 years more success. And this is the resolution from the joint from both supervisors for the chamber.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, there's that.
There is that.
All right, you guys, so as you know, I am not Tony, but yeah. My name's Fernando Paredes, and I'm honored to represent Diane Harkey, Vice Chair Diane Harkey, and just to be here to congratulate you guys on your 50 years, which is just a tremendous achievement. We wish you many, many more years, and on to the road to 100.
All right, thank you guys.
I want to thank you all. The city needed the frames.
Okay, now, Mary, it's time to introduce Dave. Oh. That's what it says. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the dude who was sitting at my table. It's very nice, too. Dave Zukowski, President and Chief Executive Officer of Hyundai Motor America, is responsible for the strategic direction and management of the company's operations in the United States. Zukowski, whom I will refer to as Dave, a 33-year veteran of the automotive industry, joined Hyundai Motor America in February 2007 as Vice President of Sales and was promoted to Executive Vice President, National Sales in 2010. Wow. He was promoted in his current role as President and Chief Executive Officer in January 2014. Dave joined Hyundai from Mazda. What? Mazda North America, where he served as Vice President of Sales and Field Operations. Dave began his career in 1980 at Ford Motor Company. Is that when you lived in Detroit? We're homies, you know. I'm from Detroit. just saying. He has spent 23 years in various executive level positions, including regional manager, product marketing manager, national merchandising manager, and field operations manager for the Ford and Lincoln Mercury divisions. Dave earned his Bachelor's of Arts in Communications from the University of Washington. Without further ado, give a big round of applause for Dave.
I would like to have Michelle just go through my script, I think, for an entertainment value that couldn't be matched. Good afternoon, everybody. I got to tell you, over the, I think the press release was outdated. I've been doing this for 36 years. Over the course of 36 years, I've been to a lot of Chamber of Commerce meetings, and I got to tell you, the energy in this room and the vibrancy is really pretty amazing, and the turnout is outstanding, so it's really, really good to see. So 50 years, that used to seem like a really, really long time, but now since I look in my personal rearview mirror, and that's well behind me now, it doesn't seem so long anymore. I'm honored to have been invited to speak here on this 50th anniversary of the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I thank you for allowing me to be part of this really festive and really important milestone event. We at Hyundai are very proud to be longtime members of the Fountain Valley community. We appreciate all that the Chamber does to make our community a better place to live, a better place to work, and a better place to shop. And we give thanks to the many business owners and leaders that are here today who have continually invested in this community, who've generated tax revenues that are critical to Fountain Valley's foundation, and who've provided good livings for many local families who live here. You are the bedrock of this community, and you make, as the Chamber's slogan so aptly says, Fountain Valley is such a very nice place to live. My central theme today here is going to be about change. So much has changed since 1966, and the Chamber has been there like a rock to witness all of it and to make sure that the city evolves along with the seismic, societal, generational, and technological shifts to ensure that Fountain Valley doesn't get left behind in the dust. Your vision and your guidance has grown Fountain Valley from a tiny agriculture-based community of just 2,000 people to a thriving and diverse city of nearly 60,000 strong. And Hyundai has grown right along with Fountain Valley. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary in the United States this year. And we've also evolved from an unknown, fledgling company in 1986 with sales of 168,000 in our first year to become the 5th largest automaker in the world with 800,000 sales in the US this year and over 8 million sales globally. And we've proudly elected our home in Fountain Valley. We're investing in a big way with our beautiful new 500,000 square foot North American headquarters just down the road that houses over 1,200 Hyundai employees. So just think, when this chamber began operation in 1966, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was 785. A new home, get this, cost $14,200. Average annual income, this one hurts a little bit, was $6,900. The average cost of a new car, $2,650, and the price of gas to run it, 32 cents a gallon. Since 1966, our world has rapidly gone global. Men have landed on the moon, walls have come down in Germany, and the internet has changed our very existence in a way that was unimaginable even 15 years ago. In my world, we're now even talking about a not too distant future of fully autonomous and driverless vehicles, just like the Jetsons used to show us. These changes have been overwhelming for sure, but we've all adapted and prospered, and we're going to continue to evolve even as that rate of change is going to increase exponentially. I think it's very likely that we will experience more change in the next 10 years than this council has witnessed in the entire 50-year history of the chamber. And this transformation is being enabled almost exclusively by emerging technology. In my business, the automobile has evolved from being a set of wheels to becoming the ultimate mobile device. The idea of the connected car is redefining our industry, and it's also reshaping the entire world. Uber is a really great example of what's happening today. Uber didn't invent a new product or create a new category. Instead, they rewrote the rules for the market by embracing new technology. And they completely disrupted the way that that industry traditionally operated. Now, the taxicab business has been shaken to its very core. They simply never saw it coming and were unprepared to defend their turf. And that same phenomena is happening in industries all across the country. And it directly affects every single one of us in this room to one extent or another. Think about brands like Netflix and Dollar Shave Club and Zappos and Airbnb, Apple, Tesla, Amazon. They are major market disruptors that are using technology to reinvent something that had existed pretty much unchanged for decades. And guess what? The consumers love it. Every aspect of our lives is being completely transformed by technology. Plus, every aspect of the consumer shopping experience is changing too. As local business people, we have to pay attention to this, or we all run the risk of becoming Uberized. I'd like to take a quick look at 4 macro trends that are fundamentally changing the way business is being done today. The on-demand economy is the first of these major market disruptors. Exactly what does it mean? Exactly what it sounds like. I want what I want, precisely when I want it, and now I have the technology at my fingertips to make sure I can make that happen. So what you say? Well, your consumers, your customers are getting used to the joys of instant gratification. And there's a growing expectation by all consumers today that they're going to receive comparable levels of service from every brand they shop or buy. And if you're not consistently able to meet those heightened expectations of this on-demand economy, they're just simply going to shop somewhere else without even a second thought. So we got to make sure that we're ready for this instant gratification consumer who wants what they want right now. The second mega trend to look at are the seismic generational shifts that are completely redefining the shopping experience and they're reshaping the retail processes. You're probably sick of the constant media buzz surrounding millennials and Gen Ys, but if you take a look at the numbers, they are real and they are a very formidable agent of change. The Gen Y population today exceeds 80 million, and 75% of them will be purchasing a new vehicle over the next 5 years. That's 64 million sales coming to market in the next 5 years. And they're going to be buying lots of other big, durable goods as well. They will surpass baby boomers as the largest generational cohort next year, and they're going to control over 40% of the new automobile market. Millennials are digital natives. They were born into this age of technology. Computers and phones have literally become extensions of their body. Most importantly, they shop and they behave completely differently from any preceding generation. But it's even bigger than that. We broadly define generations by age group, but today it's really more about a mindset. For the first time ever, older generations are actually learning from younger generations, adapting their ways and altering their buying behavior. Would it surprise you if I told you that the average age of an Amazon Prime user is in their late 40s? Or that baby boomers spend more on technology than any other generation? This is not just about Gen Y anymore. Traditional buyers are morphing right before our very eyes. So what? Well, this new generation of shoppers is completely different. Their expectation is for a fast and enjoyable shopping experience. Imagine that. They value transparency, predictability, convenience, low pressure, and personalization. Traditional sales practices are simply not going to work for them, either in my business, automotive, or any other retail business. That's exactly why they embrace and cherish their shopping experiences at Amazon and Apple and Zappos and Netflix and all the others. It's also why traditional retailers are all left feeling the squeeze. How many of your businesses are meeting these expectations today? In my business, apparently not many. Based on a recent research finding where 89% of millennials anticipate that their car shopping experience is going to be a great hassle. The bar has definitely been raised, and either we need to up our games or someone else will leap into that space to replace us. Those wheels are already well in motion, and you can just go ask a cab driver if you want to see how that feels. The next area of megatrend change is urbanization. It's a significant driver of societal transformation, which has significant implications for automotive, but for all businesses as well. Make no mistake about it, suburban flight is dead, led by Gen Y on one end of the spectrum and empty nesters on the other. 84% of all Americans will live in urban areas by the year 2020. Again, so what? Why do we really care where they choose to live? And it's because people who are trading in their big commutes to live in urban settings are going to directly impact the future of mobility and transportation needs. Urban dwellers are looking to save money. They have to. Urban living is very expensive. So they're becoming more reliant on alternative modes of transportation, like mass transit and ride-sharing services like Uber or Lyft, or car-sharing platforms where you pay by the hour for like Zipcar and FlexDrive. By necessity, there will be fewer multiple vehicle households due to the high costs and the density and the infrastructure capacity issues in urban settings. And that trend is important to automotive, but it's also very important for other related big box retailers. Our arrival into the age of complete transparency marks the fourth substantial disruptive influence rippling through our business environment. There are no trade secrets anymore. 24/7 connectivity and the democratization of data has created a direct bridge between the online experience and the in-store experience. This enables a customer-led shopping experience that shifts the power of information from being business-controlled to being consumer-centric, and that really is a sea change. So what? In our business, the existence of independent third parties like TrueCar or Kelley Blue Book or Edmunds has provided shoppers with ready access to new vehicle configurators and pricing information and financing options and used car values. It's a new world order that applies not only to automotive, but to all business segments. After many, many years of talking about it, and really the first idea of consumerism started 50 years ago in 1966, the consumer is finally king after all these years. And that trend has fueled customer expectations for increased transparency, greater convenience and authenticity, and third-party validation. And if your business is still trying to control the flow of information at sale, then you're going to struggle in meeting the expectations of this new consumer. And social media and peer reviews are going to spread that news like wildfire to prospective clients. So we're living in a completely different world. So what? What does this all mean? The bottom line is that all of these market dynamics are manageable, completely manageable, but they will dramatically redefine the role of business and the role of the chamber as we move forward over the next 5 or 10 years. And they will require that we evolve our business practices to reflect this new normal. Resisting these market forces or choosing to ignore them altogether and cling to the past is not a viable go-forward strategy for survival. We all need to have the courage to walk away from ingrained processes and business practices that have previously been proven winners and probably made us a lot of money, and you need to be willing to accept that they may not be relevant in today's market. As local business leaders, let's reconnect with our entrepreneurial DNA and get back to our roots and innovate and take calculated risk and take these challengers on head on. All I know for certain is that small business is the lifeblood of any community, and nowhere is that more true than in Fountain Valley, California. In fact, no one embodies the entrepreneurial spirit required to embrace these changes and adapt to them more than the local businesses and community leaders represented here in this very room today. We have collectively grown and prospered in our first 50 years, and we've done so by boldly embracing change and not resisting it. I look forward to facing these emerging challenges together and continuing to grow and prosper over the next 50-year journey. We at Hyundai are proud of our relationship with the Chamber, and we're honored to celebrate this very special day with all of its members. Thank you so much for your generosity of time and your attention. I would like to do one thing before I close, and I'd like to ask that Bob Hall and Tony Capolino join me up here at the podium. As a signal of Hyundai's commitment to this great city, I am very honored to present a new Hyundai Santa Fe for the fire department volunteers, the senior volunteers, to drive for the next 2 years as our way of saying, as Tony explained to me, he said they're great people, they've been doing it for a long time, they're getting on in years, and it's really getting difficult for them to squeeze themselves into this old Honda they have. So they're gonna have a brand new Santa Fe. Congratulations. That's it, just one car today, no more. So, all right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for letting us to participate.
Oh, that was so nice. Tony, give me that car. That's so nice. Isn't Dave the best? Hey, you know what? We're not done yet. No, not yet. So if you look on your table. No, you don't look at your table. No, not yet. What do you want?
We have to do the history. We have to do the history.
Oh, we have to do the history. What history?
Where's the program agenda?
All this planning and we're disorganized. I don't know. I didn't touch it.
Okay. It's gone. Okay, so I start with the 60s and 70s anyway, so you can introduce me.
Oh, you mean for the chair?
We're doing history, 60s and 70s, and then John Collins is doing the 80s.
Okay. So I'll introduce you. Okay, I'll introduce Mary and she'll do the history of the 60s and 70s, right, Mary? Yes. And then John Collins is coming up and doing the 80s and the 90s and some, close enough. And Dave Osborne, are you still here? Don't go anywhere. No wonder you're dressed up so nice. You have a speaking role. Okay, I'll introduce Mary. Don't touch those bags. But don't go home yet. Don't touch those bags yet.
Okay, I think Michelle ate the agenda, so we are going to go ahead. We just want to do some brief history of this 50 years of the Chamber. 4 of us will just be presenting some decades. I'm doing 60s, 70s. John Collins doing, there it is.
I didn't take it. Dave did.
Dave is the culprit. Dave Osborne's doing the 90s, and then Cheryl Wesley will be coming in on the mid-2000s, I believe. So, oh no. And I'm now missing the 60s and 70s. I think Dave has stolen that, too. Ah, there it is. Oop. All I need to do is triple it. Okay, here we go. As I read through the history of the Chamber, I noticed a pattern of new beginnings as first annuals and new ideas spread. Chamber membership has increased and decreased. New offices were moved into and staff increased. There were really 2 big turndowns over the last 50 years, and fear of closure was felt. But through it all, the Fountain Valley Chamber has persevered. It all started in the summer of 1961 when the City of Fountain Valley requested that a committee get together to set up plans for forming a chamber. By September of that year, there were 16 members. Paul Connor was elected president, and he remained president until 1965. According to old minutes, it was determined that all who joined before 1962 would become charter members. However, it wasn't until March 31st, 1966, that the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce was officially incorporated. The first office opened in 1968, only to close 6 months later due to lack of funds. Also in the early 60s, the Junior Chamber of Commerce was formed and later changed its name to JC's. The end of the 60s saw the formation of the Women's Division with Shirley Pulford as charter president. Past presidents include many familiar names to a lot of us that have been around for a while: Diddy Lammers, Dora Rodriguez, Betty McNanelli, Margaret Krukenberg, Adrian Kelly, Marge Schneider, and Betty Soul. As the 70s began, the Chamber won first place in the Orange County Fair display for cities and had floats in various neighboring city parades, always winning trophies. If we only had the time these days to do things like that. A citywide contest was held in 1974 for the design of a new chamber logo, and Fountain Valley High School student Ronald Morris was the winner. By the mid-70s, chamber membership had increased to 210, and the mayor's ball came into play. I also noticed the chamber had a very busy events committee, planning mixers, luncheons, motivational seminars, night at the races, and held the first and last swap meet. In 1975, membership plaques were provided for every member, and over the years, it turned into certificates and now back into plaques. The bylaws were revised and policy and procedure manuals were written. Then in 1978, Jim Petrikin, who Annie is here today with us, took over as president, and membership grew 15% during his 2 years. By the end of 1978, membership was at 371. So that's just a little few things about the 60s and 70s. Now, John Collins could come up, Mayor Pro Tem John Collins, and give us his rendition of the 1980s.
I'd just like to say before I begin is that if you have any disagreement with any of the people, if I've let your name out and I'm mentioning you, please talk to Mary. She put this together for us. And Michelle told me I had to cut this back to an hour and 45 minutes, so if it goes too long, you can talk to Michelle. So I'd like to talk about the 80s, if I can. In 1980 started a new decade with several new programs. One of these was the John Kelly Award, which was named after the Chamber's original ambassador, John Kelly. John believed that Fountain Valley was the greatest community in the world and played a major role in the growth and development of the Chamber. First recipient of the John Kelly Award was Jim Petrikin. In 1980, the Women's Division established their scholarship fund, which changed to the Diddy H. Lammers Scholarship Fund, and it was awarded annually. Betty Soul was the Citizen of the Year. You know, it's so funny, just to pause for a second here, because I went through this several times, obviously, before I read it here today, and some of the names pop up, and I could remember the names. I said, boy, I haven't thought of that person in 10 or 15 years. It really is nice to see these names being honored today. In 1980, was also the first year that the Chamber sponsored the first annual legislative reception, which also still goes on today. In 1981, well-known community volunteer Ed Arnold, and I haven't seen Ed in so long, it's been incredible. I don't even remember what he looks like. Is that Ed over there? Oh, yes, okay. Oh, that's Ed, oh, geez. Okay, in 1981, well-known community volunteer Ed Arnold was the guest of honor at a successful and well-attended roast. Everybody wanted to come and roast Ed. And Ed continues to be an active volunteer and advocate of Fountain Valley and was just, again, roasted, I guess, about 3 weeks ago on a Saturday night. This was also the year that the Chamber held its first golf classic. In the Mayor's Ball, which is still a very popular event, honored Mayor Ben Nielsen, Marv Adler, Barbara Brown, Al Hollidan, and Eugene Van Dask. Moving on to 1982, some of our highlights included Frank Navarro, elected president of the Chamber and served until 1984. The first annual fiesta was held at Miles Square Park. The city celebrated its 25th birthday with Margaret Krutenberg as chairperson. The city's official poem was composed by Fountain Valley Poet Laureate Clara Peck Schultz. Looking at the 1983, we find that Shannon Niebling was named Miss Fountain Valley. Linda Falk received the John Kelly Award. Jim Petrican, again, was named Citizen of the Year. Howard Stevens resigned as city manager. Marv Adler served as mayor, along with the council members Ben Nielsen, Barbara Brown, Fred Voss, and Jim Neal. That brings us to 1984. Fountain Valley continued to grow as a city, and the population of Fountain Valley was now 55,800 people. In the Chamber of Commerce world, president was Frank Hopkins. Pat Crockett resigned, and Bob Adams was appointed executive director. Tracy Travis was selected as Miss Fountain Valley. The John Kelly Award was presented to Margie Hopkins, and the Citizen of the Year went to Barbara Brown. The Rotary Club was organized with Ed Arnold serving as its charter president. Did you write this, help her write this, Ed? Yeah, okay. Wow. He's done so much for this community, though. Ooh. In 1985, the Chamber was under the leadership of Bob Rush. Joy Hofer joined the Chamber as membership director, and Marilyn Dennison became the executive director. This person here, what's his, oh, John Collins. John Collins was presented with the John Kelly Award, and Irene Mardini was named Citizen of the Year, and Shannon Wise was Miss Fountain Valley. That was the year Michelle was born, I think. John and Elizabeth Titone were named Fountain Valley Senior Queen and King. In 1986, we again saw a few firsts for the Chamber in the city. Irene Mardini was elected first chairwoman of the, first woman chamber president. A new slogan was introduced. Try us first, shop in Fountain Valley, it's better business. Thank goodness we got rid of that one, and it's now Fountain Valley is a nicer place to live. Carmel Retirement Center was opened. Michelle Arnson was named Miss Fountain Valley. Francis and Ben Romano were Fountain Valley Senior King and Queen, and the city's population grew to 57,268. With Fred Voss serving as mayor, Al Miele was named the police chief. Frank Hopkins received the John Kelly Award, and Gene Moss, Citizen of the Year, and Dan Morton was Business Person of the Year. 1987 was another year of first. Fountain Valley now officially had a fountain. The dedication took place, I'm not making this up, I'm just reading it here. Fountain Valley officially had a fountain. The dedication took place on June 13th, which is the city's anniversary date, and the fountain was a community effort of organizations, business people, and individuals. The project was spearheaded by the Fountain Valley Women's Club, with Jean Moss serving as chairperson. The city celebrated its 30th birthday under the direction of Jim Dick. Celebration was held at Heritage Park and hosted by the Historical Society. The Chamber sponsored the first annual business fair. The first Student in Government Day was held. Other names you may remember: Dan Morton was elected president of the Chamber. The Chamber hosted the Mayor's Ball honoring Mayor Jim Neal and City Council members Barbara Brown, George Scott, Fred Voss, and Loran Cook. In 1988, the Chamber started yet another new event. This time it was the first annual Halloween Charity Masquerade Ball. Some of the council members didn't have to dress up any different than the clothes that they wore every day, but the Chamber was under the leadership of, John Collins as president. Guy's all over the place. Some of the names you will recognize include Linnell Henson as Miss Fountain Valley, Cecilia Williams and Patrick Dwyer as served as Senior King and Queen. The John Kelly Award was presented to Betsy Collins. Dan Morton was named Citizen of the Year. Frank Hopkins of Hopkins & Associates was Business Person of the Year. And that brings us finally to 1989, the last year, so you know you only have a little bit to listen to here for 1980s. Consider some of the highlights from this very important year. The Chamber held its first annual Health Expo and Casino Night. A health services directory was designed and published. The first churches, schools, and preschools directory was produced. The Business Connection made its debut. The Chamber created a scholarship endowment and donated $5,000 to the Coastline Community College, and the Student and Business Day program was started. And again, some of the names from that year include Betty Mignonelli, joined the Chamber staff as executive assistant. The John Kelly Award went to Roberta DeFraga. Dora Rodriguez named Citizen of the Year. Dawn Metz was Miss Fountain Valley. And that, did I cut it back enough? Okay. That is the 1980s as they pertain to this city and the Chamber.
Okay, now we're moving ahead into the 1990s. Dave Osborne.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is really a great event. I want to thank everybody that put this on. This is awesome. It's like a big reunion for me. I've been here a long time in this community, and it's a nice place to live because we have so many nice people that live here. That's what makes it so special. And having events like this over the years, it brings back a lot of memories. We've been in this room. Well, if you go back far enough, before this room was even here, they used to have the old Mile Square, and we used to hold our luncheons in there. And then we moved down to Lost Cab for years. That was in the 90s, but brings back a lot of memories, and it's good to see everybody. It's like a big reunion. I'd like to tell you my first story about how I got involved in the Chamber. We had just bought in Fountain Bowl in 1988, and I was asking everybody over there, I said, you know, I'm the type of person I want to get involved in the community. I'd like to meet some folks, get involved in the city, and one of the gals said, well, there's a Chamber mixer tonight over at Silky Sullivan's. I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Yeah, I just spent about $900 over there last month. So I said, I'm going to go over and introduce myself. So I walk in, there's a mixer going on. They've had that same mixer. Now it's a turkey bowl mixer. This is before they had turkey bowl, I think. And as I walk in, the mayor of the city was George Scott at the time. Most of you probably remember their late, great George Scott. What an awesome individual he was. And he's greeting everybody at the door, and he's like, who are you? And I said, hey, I'm Dave Osborne. We just bought Fountain Bowl. Oh, Fountain Bowl? Dave, come on, let's go up to the bar and have a shot of tequila. And I'm like, wow, what a great city this is. I'm doing shots of tequila with the mayor right off the bat. Can't beat it. So the 90s, that kind of the way the 90s started off too. The 90s were, I call them the nifty 90s, you know. They were great. And somebody was talking about the 60s earlier, and they were talking about how they remembered the 60s. Well, if you actually remember the 60s, you probably weren't there. But the 90s, I can still remember them pretty well because we had a lot of fun. We did so many things in this chamber. We had retreats. We'd go to Ventura. We'd go to Palm Springs. We go a lot of places, San Diego. We used to really have some fun. The planning retreats were awesome. We did a lot of really cool things together. I'm going to list a few of the people here that were involved so that you can get an idea. Most of them are, there's a lot of them that are here, and some of them aren't here, but I'll just run down these real fast so I'll give you an idea who the important people were. Of course, everybody was pretty important, but these were the chamber presidents in the 90s. Ann Petrigan, I think Ann's here. Charlie Rodriguez. He actually passed away, I think, while he was in office, and Mr. Dave Garofalo took over for him. Ruby App, is Ruby here? No? Betty Colley? Margie Hopkins, is she here? She's the one that actually corralled me into this chamber a long time ago. And there was a gentleman named Bill Williams, and then I was the president the last 2 years. So those were the presidents of the chamber. And the Citizens of the Year, that was a big event. We did a lot of events back in the 90s. We had Citizen of the Year, we had Miss Fountain Valley, we had a Senior King and Queen, we did the John Kelly Award, we had Business Person of the Year, we worked with the Fiesta. We did a lot of things. I'll just list here some of the folks that were Citizens of the Year. Mr. John Collins, Loran Cook, George Scott, Mary Sells, Shirley Simons, and Julie Hoxie. Those were some of these. I think some of the records are a little fuzzy when you get back to start and look at this stuff, as Mary and I found out. Miss Fountain Valley, we had Stephanie Boron, Stephanie Takahara, Rodel Cruz, and Evie Gonzalez. And Senior King and Queen during the 90s was Maria and Harmon Wilson, Leo Bree and Helen Kalflish, Harry and Kathleen Hinsoon, Warren Diaz and Eugenia Sawinski. And then I guess Eugene must have hooked up with somebody else the next year because it was Eugenia Winzinski and Don Dufresne, so I think she switched partners. She wanted that award twice. The John Kelly Award was won by Jim McLean, Pat Schlackman, Marilyn Dennison, Ann Petrigan, Bob Richardson, I know he's here, Ruby Yap, and Grant Engel. And the business person of the year was John Fitzgerald from O'Connell Chevrolet. I'm sure most of you remember the big round guy with the big square deal. He was great. John and Diane Dahlheis and Dr. Tom Gallowentz from the Newport Corporation, Roberta Da Frega, and Dave Marsh, Fountain Valley Body Works, still going strong. He was business person of the year back in the 90s, and they're still doing very well. I'm sure you see their ads on TV. Thomas Ways, they were from the Ordina Physician Services, and our lovely Mary Parsons from Silky Solids was also business person of the year. So those are the folks that really were important, I guess, from a chamber standpoint, but this chamber's always been a big part. And I remember when I was president, someone once asked me, why would I want to join the Chamber of Commerce? And I said, before I answer that, I said, I got a much more difficult question to ask you. And they said, what's that? I said, if you have a business in town, why wouldn't you want to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce? So that was the 90s, folks.
And we're going to wrap up our little history tour with Cheryl Wesley. I don't know if you're coming in on the mid-2000s. I'm not sure, but she's coming in. I've lost track. Yes, I have.